This is the Red All Over late reaction to Barnsley versus Blackpool, but also breaking news that has come out this afternoon. Neil Collins has departed Oakwell with just one game left of the regular season and potentially a playoff should we win on Saturday. So a very, very busy couple of days. So let's get into it. Andy, come to you first on this one, as you look very excited about that. Obviously, Collins not really had a bad season, sat fifth in the league. Just need that one more win to secure top six. Is it sort of a justified sacking? Because it is a little bit of a. It's one of them of the recent form's not been great. The football hasn't been entertaining necessarily, and to do it with just one game left this season, just the timing just seems very awkward.
To put it mildly, I mean, the last number of matches, everybody was saying, as we take in on Bolton and we're winning 2-0, Neil Collins has won me over. We're very doubtful. We've been dire and grab football and passing it back and from side to side in the defence and all that, and it's not good enough. And it's not been exciting stuff. We can't pretend that it hasn't been. But, we've had a good away record generally until very recently, but it's not been scintillating, and I don't know where that comes from. I don't know if that's the player or the coach or a mixture. Probably the coach. But at the start of the season, he had a lot on with things that change, complete change of defence. And my understanding was that the target was to get in the playoffs, and with one game left, we're in the playoffs. So I get a bit confused with the. I can hear myself echoing somewhere. Alan, are you echoing? Oh, I'll start to get right. Yeah, all a bit odd. All a bit odd to me with one game left. I understand it. I understand it if if it were after the match and we'd not made the playoffs and what have you. It seems odd timing. So for me, it feels like maybe there's something else gone off. I honestly don't know. I'll say this: it's a surprise to me. If they decided as a board that it wasn't going in the direction it wanted to go in, or if our director of football felt that, then I'm surprised it's taken this long. Because one game left, it's like suck it and see now. If it's about the fans that are, booing the team and talking, about what's going to happen on Saturday if we go a goal behind. I hope it's not that, because I think that's a bit. I think that's all a bit silly. With one game left, irrespective of what people were feeling, one game left, got to win it. Or if we win it, it's still in our hands. If we win it, we're in the playoffs. We could still make it with other results, depending with other score, depending what other results were. But it's in our hands. And I just say, if you're dissatisfied and booing and all that, do it after. I just said, do it after the game. Don't do it during. Just get behind them for 90 minutes and let's see if we can finally get over that flipping line that we've been trying to get over for about a month. So yeah, it's a surprise. It's a surprise with one game left. I just wish Martin Devaney all the very best, because we know Martin and think highly of him.
Yeah, I think that's sort of the thing, Craig, isn't it? Because it's not like when you're in a relegation battle and you've got maybe 7 or 8 games left and you sort of go for that new manager bounce and you've got a bit of time to work with a team or something. Like, if we were to bring something, because the statement doesn't say we're looking for a manager or searching for a manager, which to normally round off with it just says that Devaney sort of will take charge. So you can either look at that one or two ways of, like, Devaney's got it until however many games are left this season. Should we win on Saturday, then get into playoffs, it's probably going to be as to mould and shape. But then if there is someone to come in within that gap, they're going to have what we're now. We're on Monday, so they have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They have 4 days to prepare for our biggest game of the season, and then to take a team into the playoffs. It's not a lot of time for someone to work with and get new ideas across.
Not at all. You got to get him through the door first, and we haven't even done that yet. So, yeah, I don't get the timing. If you at least keep Northampton game for me, and if we win, great, you get in playoffs. I just don't see the point because I can't. With how long they've took in the past to get a new manager in, they're not going to get anybody in until after the playoffs. So basically, you're throwing the playoffs down the river, because you're going in there with Martin Devaney, which obviously has been working under Collins, so it's not like he's not going to know what to do, but he's not the manager that's managed all season. So look, I think the football's been awful. The past month it's been barely watchable. I mean, I've not enjoyed watching any of Barnsley's matches, to be quite honest with you, because some of it's been absolutely drab. But I just don't get the time, and half of them is hoping they've got a plan. They've already got somebody in mind, or they've already earmarked somebody or spoke to somebody, and they're going to get them in really quickly, which is something I wish they'd do. But looking at past sackings when they've sacked managers, we're going to be waiting a month and a half, 2 months for them to get somebody in. For me, you've got to get somebody in as soon as possible, because looking beyond playoffs, even we've got half a squad that's leaving on contracts. Loan players are going back. We're going to have half a team left, and they're going to have to rebuild. And look, I don't even think we're going to win playoffs even if we get into it. But I'm even getting concerned for next season now, because if it's going to take 2 months to get a new manager in, that's going to leave them with next to no time to get a team ready and prepared with a new tactic to kick on next season. Plus getting more players in. Yeah. Look, I wasn't Collins' biggest fan. I was leaning towards him wanting him to leave at the end of the season anyway, but I just don't get this timing.
No, Al, I mean, when you look at Collins' record in the league, 21 wins, 12 draws, 12 losses as well. Third highest scores in the league with 81, conceding 63, which is the highest until you get down to Northampton, funnily enough, down in 14th. Peterborough got a similar-ish goal difference. Well, not actually similar-ish, to be fair, actually. But they've conceded the second highest in the top six with 56, so 7 less than us, but also scored 5 more. I get that it's not been the greatest season, but ultimately we are still sat in 5th. It is still in our hands to secure the top 6.
It is, Josh. It is, but we're hanging on by a thread, aren't we? That's the thing. We're hanging on by a thread. We were when we played Bolton, we were pushing up into automatics, and then we've gone. What is it? 12 games, 36 points. We got to go for. We've actually only taken 9 out of 36 points, which is a quarter of the points what are available. And that's, I think we've won two and drawn 3 and lost rest. It's not good coming into business end of the season, is it? I was surprised today that they had parted with his services. That's going into a game on Saturday. I think that gives Northampton the upper hand. But let's see where it goes. They were baying for blood, honestly, truthfully, at Blackpool. It was singing about Collins as football is rubbish and Collins out. We want Collins out. It was toxic. It was toxic, and whether that's part and parcel of it, and baying for blood, and they've got blood now, and he's gone. And to be honest, wish him all the best personally.
It feels weird though, Andy, when you think about it, because obviously, historically, I would say we've been fairly loyal to managers in that regard. When you look at Lee Johnson, that season had us down in 23rd at Christmas, and ultimately by sticking sort of with him during that time, managed to turn it around at Christmas, got us on a bit of a run, and then left for Bristol City sort of during the back end of that. But by that time, sort of the team was self-sufficient in its way of running, and Paul Heckingbottom came in and ultimately got us over the line. But I think it's the timing for me that's the most concerning thing, because like it's so much pressure for Devaney to sort of come into. He's previously ran the team, sort of steering it through relegation when we went down from the Championship 2 seasons ago, and that's sort of his only exposure to first team management. Which at the time it was just the young lads anyway who were playing, and we're just sort of seeing out the season after Poyash Baggy had gone. It feels very much like good luck, see if you can do it. But I suppose the way the board are seeing it is that quick caretaker manager bounce, or just someone else to
We did get it a
reinvigorate
couple
the
of years
side.
ago.
Well, just someone to reinvigorate the side a little bit, maybe.
Oh, it's just it is a strange decision for me with one league game left to try and rectify things. You could say, you know, it depends how you look at it. You could say that they've acted decisively, that it's been going horribly wrong, apart from a couple of results. And to be fair, the performances against Reading weren't bad, and the performance against Portsmouth was very good, apart from the awful bit of defending at the end. You know, that we just shot ourselves in the foot. I'm surprised our defence has been as weak as we are since Neil has been, you know, we're a defender. I'm just hoping. I don't think there's a great deal that Martin's going to be able to do that's different, apart from encourage them to play in a certain way. And you know, he's not going to be able to get too many things over the line. I hope it was one of the best crosses of a ball that we've ever had, and except for George Amstead, obviously, Al, but one of the best crosses we've ever had. I just hope I hope he spends some time practicing them crossing, because our crossing has been woeful a lot of this season. So you know, just to that, Martin, get the defence sorted out as best you can, and pick the right players to do it. But get some crosses over. You know, get Big Sam up there and get some crosses on his head. I don't think there's a lot Martin can do. What I do think is, that I do expect, and I'm sure I'll be right on this, Martin will do his very level best, because he's steeped in this football club, and that's a good thing. You know, he was promoted to being, if you like, from the academy, and promoted up to being part of the first team coaching setup, and you know, so well done to him. So that's what we want. So I don't know. He'll just do his best.
Yeah, I think it is a little bit weird. I think you mentioned mute yourself. It is a little bit weird, Craig, when we sort of look at it, because it's not like Devaney's got a transfer window or something where he can sort of put a little print on the side or really change anything. We've played in this way for 45 games this season, including cups as well. We're looking at about 50 games this season, and he's been part of that coaching staff that's developed these players to play in that necessarily way, and then to sort of rip up the script, to speak, would be a very brave move and a very big move for him to do. But it's probably something that he has a little more license to do, rather than if Collins was in charge.
Yeah, Devaney's got free roam to do what he wants now, because he can't fail. Like, he's been thrown in deep end. Everybody knows that he's been thrown in deep end. I'm sure he didn't see this coming, like a lot of us didn't see this coming, and he's been handed a job that is probably, he's not going to turn it down, you know what I mean? Because it is a free hit. So, and he's got a chance of getting a promotion on his CV already, which, you know, you're not going to turn that down. But
That'd be some CV. He's got a relegation and a promotion.
yeah, and he's only managed like 10 games.
Done about 5 games, but he's managed to get both of them on it. Fair play.
One good thing I can see about Devaney coming in is, obviously, he'll get young ones a chance. He'll give Marsh a go, and he'll give Jallow a go, and he'll give Jorgen Nathan a go. You know, he'll give these players a go if in Northampton, if we've got the injuries that we've been having with Luke Connell out, and you know, attackers out and everything. So it's just looking ahead about who's going to be the next coach who comes in. You know, there's not really a large abundance of managers out of work. You know, I've earmarked 3 that I think are good possibilities. Paul Eckenbottom coming back, Michael Duff coming back, Mark Warburton. I think he's a fantastic manager we should be looking at. You know, he's been out of work a fair while now, but he did brilliant at QPR. 150 games, 60 wins, 60 losses, 30 draws. So fairly stable, but good manager. And then I've got 3 managers that I've been looking at that are currently in jobs that they might come, they might not. So Paul Cook at Chesterfield, I think would be a good call. Michael Scubala at Lincoln, you know, and David Challinor. Every single manager I've mentioned as well has played the 3 at the back formation in the previous jobs. So, you know, they'll be able to work with what we've currently got, you know. So I don't know, I'll just throwing some names out there. I don't know what you guys think, but
I think the real
Scubala, what he's done at Lincoln, they're a special team, you know. So
I can't see him leaving Lincoln.
no, I can't.
I mean, what I do think is a shame is that we've said for a number of seasons now that we've got a particular style of play, and we've got the formation that we've had for a while, where it's been about a high press, getting stuck in, going forward, and even if we score, go forward again, keep going forward. Don't become defensive. Just keep going for it. All from Big Val, and we were going to continue all that. You know, with Big Val, we had it.
He's another one.
Michael Duff, and we're going to do it. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to appoint head coaches based on the style of play that the board want and they know the fans want. And Neil Collins came with that on that basis, as far as I understood it, and it's not happened.
The difference is with Big Val, the way he played football, we generated a lot of chances. It was very attacking. I mean,
I didn't like it though.
We were always in double figures for shots on goal, and near enough 10 on target per game. But under Duff, under Collins, we're having 2 or 3 on target a game. So we're basically expecting every time we target to score a goal, or we're not going to win a match. We're not creating enough chances.
It is an interesting one. Al, what do you think it's going to necessarily do for us coming into playoffs? Because obviously there's 2 sides of looking at it. One, you've upset the apple cart of sort of the status quo in which we've been working at so far this season, and it could prove to be disruptive and ultimately coming in as not getting a result on Saturday. The other side is it reinvigorates the squad. There's now the opportunity to play with a little bit more freedom, and you've got someone that can potentially come in and be like, right, let's sort of go back to what worked last season, because Devaney's been sort of the concurrent theme throughout, as he worked with 3 or 4 previous head coaches now in sort of the first team coaching staff. So he'll have the knowledge from Duff, he'll have the sort of the good points from Collins as well that he can sort of use, develop, and then implement his own way on Saturday.
I think what's going for Collins to start with is last 3 games we've conceded 3 goals from set players, and he were a defender. I think that's been poor, to be honest, conceding goals and not marking. The zonal marking has not worked, so we've got to sort that one out. But season's come down for me down to 1 game. It's a 1-game season now on Saturday, isn't it? It's take away all 45 games. It's a 1-game season, and it all comes down to what happens Saturday. If it comes down and we manage it and we get 3 points Saturday, it comes down to another three cup finals, doesn't it? Or if we can get there. So its seasons come down to what we can say 4 games. So I don't know how it's going to pan out Saturday. I have no idea. It's going to be strange. Change again, and I'm assuming John Stead's still there. I did out about John Stead. So looking at it, with John Stead and Martin Devaney will be in charge. So let's see what's down. I mean, hopefully Stead can have an input as an attacker. Martin, as Andy says, make sure that wing backs know how to put crosses over and get good crosses in and get past that first man, which we've not been getting past first man, have we? And I know at Blackpool, I don't think some of his wing backs were in as forward as what they should have, because they pressed us to stop us getting forward. So let's see what happens. But shocked today. I must admit, shocked that he has departed.
Yeah, it has been a bit of a weird day, because I don't think really any of us probably expected, to be honest, to sort of come down to this.
I think they've done it to take wind out of our sails, Josh, us 4, because we were all fire and brimstone, weren't we, after awful display on Saturday at Blackpool, and
Well, I'm just going to say
we're not-
thank you to you for not being available to record yesterday, because you've saved us a bit there.
Not kidding.
You've saved us by not being available. We've been able to just do one show now instead of having to do 2 shows in 2 days.
I think you'll find.
Thinking of my workload.
That I was the only one other than you that was available on Sunday morning as per normal. These two,
Oh,
these
yeah.
two
I
ne'er-do-wells,
was in Blackpool one.
they weren't
Excuse
available.
me.
I've got a
Excuse
family
me.
to deal with.
Hold on, Mr.
Easy,
Sincock.
easy,
How many games have you been away from home? At least
easy,
I played the flag.
Tiger.
Oh, here we
Easy,
go.
Tiger.
Look at you,
Really,
armchair.
at least I was there.
You're
Armchair
filming now.
supporters.
The last time I was filming like that, when FA mucked about with replays, I'm not getting onto that, Al, but you were filming then, Al, and you're filming now. Go on, Al. Get me told, Al.
Itching. That's all I say. Itching.
Itching. Go on, Al. Tell me off, Al. Tell me off. Because you were going to do it on Sunday night.
Baldrick, stop it, will you? But stop it, Baldrick.
Baldrick is
Go and
it,
have a
Al?
Blackadder moment.
Baldrick is it, Al? Are you emphasising the bald or the Rick, Al? Ricky. Which
I'm thinking Uncle Fester, to be honest, but you know.
you've done you.
Well, if he
I'll
picks
tell you
on us,
this.
Craig, he's going to take it back, any.
Let me say this, Al. Let me say this. On instant reaction on Saturday, win, lose or draw, I'm going to sneak up behind Craig and rabbit punch him for that.
Hey,
Not
there's
that
a
holy
special.
violence,
Hold on,
but-
there's a special on Saturday.
I'm just
I'm
after
there.
extra view. I'm
Instant
after extra.
reaction. Al's there. I'm
extra
there for an
views,
instant
Al.
reaction.
Oh, he's going to turn up for a change.
I am.
Oh, you're going to turn up, Al, are you? Oh, that's good of you. Good of you.
That time.
Yeah, that
Oh,
time.
Pat, is that you saying that?
You know what's going to happen if he turns up, don't you? It's not going to go well, Josh, if he turns up.
It'll probably be in a box. It'll be one
Yeah.
it'll be one of them boxes where we never win when
I'm bad. I'm bad.
We
Yeah.
never win when I was in a box.
Yeah.
I'm in my proper seat though. I'm in my seat. Well, Mr. Baxter's in Australia, so I'm sitting in my own seat. We swap seats because Kate's 28 and I'm 30, so I'm going to sit in my own seat with Mr. Baxter not there. So it might change in formation in Pontian.
I'm glad you've
I hope
told the
the
world,
change of
Al.
formation up pitch and all.
The world needed to know that, Al.
Anyone to know
Al's
what
in his
seat
own
Al's in?
seat.
Al's in his own seat. It's number 13, Ponty, and
You
It's
do know, Al,
look, it's same as Adam Phillips. Now this Phillips has scored him for fun.
right. Good to know.
answer. Everybody knows where you are now, Al. They'll all pile on, Al.
We know which one. We know which seat number to say when anyone runs on pitch.
Yeah,
On
it
Saturday.
were him.
Like I say, I can't get away from that
30.
because that's my number plate on Rover, so I can't get away from that. My seat number's my number plate.
Josh, if somebody runs on pitch, we'll
It's getting
not be able
worse.
to.
It's getting
we'll not be
worse,
able
Josh.
to tell
Just
him
move on.
we can't tell him
He's
it's
going to say
Al.
this is house number next. Come on.
He's going to
Al's-
box himself in a minute.
No, I'm
It's
not
on his
playing.
driver's
I'm not
licence.
playing Al's bingo yet.
If Alan's going to run on pitch on Saturday, he'll need to set off now.
It's his
That's his-
passport number.
He's not as quick as he used to be. He'll not be running anywhere. Tell him, Al. Never mind.
He's been doing exercises, I'll have you know. He might be a bit quicker now.
Have you seen his hips? Have you seen his hips?
Doing his sled pushers. I've seen them.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go.
So sort of doing this show slightly reversed due to the breaking news that's come out today. Looking back on Saturday, which ended up being Neil Collins' last game. Al, you've not mentioned yet, but you were there, flying the flag as a home and away fan. It weren't the best game, to be honest, but again, it's one of those where we've got to a point in the season where it's all about results, but you can't be getting 3 goals away in the way in which we did do. It's a hell of a uphill battle that we're giving ourselves, and like I say, probably one of the worst halves we've played so far this season.
Hello, Al.
Oh, too well.
Hello, Al.
I mean, what did I say on preview show?
I don't
Go
know.
Are they going to be
Remember
on
what you
beach? Are they going to on beach or are they going to play on grass? I think they were on beach. They were definitely on beach because, high expectations, all to play for both sides. And, I don't think we give them a game. and it spoilt a good weekend in Blackpool. First goal, 12 minutes. Oh no, there you go again. Hardly saw it because down at front, everybody were coming in, so a lot missed that first goal. And then I said to Kate, I said, if we can go in 1-0, we can regroup and sort out and get Collins can get them grafting a bit more. But no, they got that goal from a free kick in additional time. And I thought, oh, this is not going well. And then they come out, and their third goal came from Roberts' clearance. They picked it up outside 18-yard box and then played it down right-hand side. They played it straight through us. And there was nobody at that back post to stop Coulson scoring at back post 2 minutes into second half. And you're thinking, oh, this is going to be a rout. And as I said, the fans turned at half time. And the fans turned, third one went in, and a lot of fans went out and went to pubs in Blackpool. They'd had enough. And it was shocking. There was nothing there. And then we get back into it with McAtee after 67 minutes, and there were a slight cheer, not more than a slight cheer. And you're thinking, oh, well, that's it then. The 2 points behind us, they're pushing us. Then we got one in additional time. Adam Phillips, another goal, but it wasn't good enough. Losing twice in a week, 3-2, it's not good. And shipping goals, that's the worst thing with shipping goals. And we need to stop shipping goals. Imperative that we stop it straight away on Saturday.
Yeah, it has been sort of the running theme of our season, Craig, and it especially sort of going 1-0 down, 2-0 down, and sort of having that uphill battle, which somewhat does attest to the fact that we've had to score 81 goals, which is third highest in the league, but still sat fifth. It's not like we've struggled to score goals. It's just a case of when we have conceded, which the reason we've had to score so many to grab results is because we've started sort of so slow or just giving away sloppy goals, and it's been a recurrent theme throughout the game, and obviously especially on Saturday as well.
Yeah, I think them first half stats generally sum up what our season's been. 54% possession, one shot, none on target. I mean, that's happened. How many times that's happened, either in the first half or a second half throughout this season, has been ludicrous. The amount of times we've only played 45 minutes of a game and expecting to win and get promoted. I mean, you look at, I say it every video, you look at Portsmouth, so they're just going through and dominating teams. And like I say, you can't if you're only dominating one half, Defensively, it's been shocking this season. I think it's worst defensive season I've seen us play. And that's pretty bad to say. We've been under shop and Poyer as well. So, yeah, that needs to get sorted in the summer. We need to get defenders in because it's just not good enough. Or the system's not good. There's no way you can't play a defensive formation and concede that amount of goals. It is a defensive formation we play with 5 at the back, but yet we're shipping relegation level goals. That is unreal. That's mental. And the fact that we've been sticking with it all season as well is even more mental. It's trying to do the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result, and it never happening. And that's ultimately it's cost him his job. Because the one time he did change formation, we won the game. And then he reverted straight back to 3 at back. That's what's costing this job. For me, that's what's costing this job. The unwillingness to change. Because all he's done is played the same system. Minor tweaks to up front, but really at back it's been all the same. And I just want this season over and done with. Yeah, I know we've got playoffs, but like I said before, I don't think we've got a prayer of beating any at top 6. In the current vein of form we're in, playing the way we're playing at the minute. I'm praying to the gods that Devaney can pull a rabbit out of the hat, because that's what it's going to take for us to get into playoffs and to get into final and get into championship. If that does happen, he's going to be. He's going to have to be a rabbit out of the hat. But I can't see it myself. But yeah, it's been horrendous this season. Just too many one-sided performances.
Yeah, I think I was just looking at the league table. There's looking at the amount of goals in which we have conceded. You've got Cheltenham, who've conceded 63, same as us. Burton conceded 64, just one more. Cambridge have only conceded 60, which is 3 less than us, and that's 19th, 20th, and 21st.
So I
Shrewsbury
mean,
on
relegation
64.
form. all season.
Shrewsbury on 64, only 1 goal more. And realistically, obviously, all the teams down there.
How bad would
It's-
that have been if Roberts didn't play as well as he played at the start of the season, though? Because he pulled some wonder saves off. His form has dropped towards the end of the season, but at the start of the season, he was pulling some blinders off.
I'd say he'd got us at least 10 points. Like, we'll be sat mid-table, I think,
Yeah,
by that thingy. I don't think it's thingy,
Everybody
but
knew that we got a problem in defence, which is why they tried to rectify it in January. It's a bit about Donovan Pines, but truthfully, only played a couple of games. So it's hard to pin it all just on that. Josh Earl came and looked superb, and he's been drawn into other stuff. Against Blackpool in the first half, they got the first ball, they got the second ball, they were quicker than us. We couldn't tackle, we couldn't control the ball, we couldn't pass it. And when we did pass it, they'd done some homework. When we did pass it, we got our defence, Mile particularly, putting it long, supposedly over the top of the defence for Devan to chase that and get behind him.
Yeah.
But they sat deeper. They sat a lot deeper. So to get it over the defence, it was straight to the goalkeeper or a goal kick. And if it didn't, they just headed it clear. So, we should have seen that they were holding back a bit, holding a further line back rather than a high line, and played it through the midfield. And we didn't. Whenever it went to midfield, it went back. It was awful football in the first half. And we know what anybody thinks about, you can talk about the coaching. We know that some of these players can play football. You can have an off day because they're human beings when it comes down to it. But they all had an off day, or the vast majority had an off day, and it just wasn't good enough. And as daft as it sounds after that, well, I almost said first half, but it was longer than the first half. We could have, and maybe should have at least have got a draw, because I think we scored a goal that he disallowed for an handball, or didn't give and then gave handball. And I honestly believe that we had a penalty on Jallo. If it's a penalty for Pompey against us, that's a penalty against Jallo. And I'm not saying we deserved it, don't get me wrong, and I'm not trying to blame everything on officiating, but it's poor. Letting fouls go and then blowing for daftness, it's not good enough. We could have got a draw after that, and perhaps should have if it had been a bit more reasonable officiating. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, it did. It did almost feel as though when we obviously started edging his way back into the game, as Andy said, probably undeservedly on the balance of the game. But there's been times that's happened to us so far this season, like the Bolton game where we dominated for the first 65 minutes and then ultimately came up short towards the end, and Bolton then could have nicked it right at the death. It just feels like, for me, as soon as this pressure's increased this season, we've just got worse and worse. Al.
Yeah, when pressure increases, we crumble, don't we? It's been par for the course for a while that now, isn't it? That once we slip back and the press goes and we're tired as such and we make changes, we lose as drive, if ever we had a drive. What surprised me on Saturday, though, why wasn't one of our senior professionals put up to the press conference? Why did they put Eddie Marsh up, who'd only played 20 minutes after we'd lost away at Blackpool? I didn't understand that one. You'd have thought Skipper would have come up, or somebody. He's not had that much input in last games, has he, Eddie? So why would he put up to do play a press conference post match?
That players were on phone with their agents, trying to sort out the next moves.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons why we need to get a coach in as soon as we can. I don't think it'll happen before the end of this season, but we don't want the same as last year, where players that we thought were going to sign for us. Alice, shift your flipping microphone, will you? Have you sorted it out? It's that echo. Oh. Flipping it. Yeah, because last year, we got players that wanted to sign for us, they intended to sign for us, and then the manager left, and then we didn't get a manager for ages, so they didn't sign, and that is incredibly disruptive. So we don't need to be waiting till mid-July to be able to get a coach in place, even if it means paying them earlier. So we need to get on with it. And I don't know what's going to happen on Saturday. I think maybe we might just get over the line. We might not. They're not going to. We're not going to lose, are we? The players aren't going to lose because if we do well, then they might want to stay. If they don't, they might want to. The ones that we think are likely to go, the ones that are out of contract, and obviously the low knees will go. And it's rebuilding. Personally, I'd much sooner rebuilding the Championship than rebuilding League One, because then you've got more money behind you.
I could not disagree more.
Well, and that's fair. It's fair enough.
I could not disagree more with that.
What I think is why are we in this situation? I think the board need to seriously look in the mirror. This is me just being completely honest. You can't have this amount of players out of contract at the end of one season. And this is not just players in general, it's key players, starting players. If they're not going to re-sign, then you sell them when they've got a year left. Because we're going to have a load of players leave now with no money back for them. We're only going to free up the wages.
They got slagged off if they'd have sold Cadden and Devante.
I know, but the thing is,
in January, they got slagged off, Craig. They can't win no matter what.
But
you could say they're getting to go. We're in a good position. Push forward. Even if we lose a lot of money by not selling any of them, it gives us the best chance.
No, but what I'm not getting. No, you're getting me wrong. I'm on about the desire of the player to play here 120% when they know that they're out at doer end of season. If they're playing for a promotion now that they're not going to be part of next season. So why are they going to get 100% now? I don't see why they would. Turn up, train, get paid. You know what I mean? They're going to leave. Like the likes of Herbie Kane and Devante Cole now, it makes no difference to them if we go up now or not.
It doesn't. It doesn't though, because then they'd have a.
It does if they want to re-sign, then yeah, it does. But if they
not
don't
necessarily
want to
though, because you've got a promotion on your CV. Then you're like, I am now, like, once that game's over, I am now a Championship player. Like I am the. Like you're gonna
they'll probably get Championship moves anyway, both of them too. But
I think they would, but I think it is very much like there is still something to play for. It's not like they're trying to stay away from an injury, because they've got the off season anyway to go and sort that out anyway if they did pick up a knock or something like that. It's not like
their livelihood, lads, isn't it? They're not going to down tools and not play.
No,
because they've got to put in short windows. Nobody's going to buy them if they're not playing. They've got to put in and put the effort in, because it's like anybody in a job. You're not going to not do your job and not move on. And if that's what you're saying, Craig, they're not putting the effort in. No, then who's going to come and get them, even if the contract's up? Are they going to get another club?
Right, I started off by saying that the board should sort out contracts. And I was saying because people can use this excuse at the end of the season that people are not putting the effort in. I wasn't saying it that I think that that's what's happening. I'm saying that the board has left it, so that's an excuse that could be thrown at players or at the club that players are not. Because I've read it. People are saying it. That Devante stopped running because he's looking at the next club. And same way Herbie Kane and all this. I'm just throwing it out there that the board should have tried to either renew the contracts or not leave us in this situation where players are going to leave. Because next season's a massive rebuild all over again.
I think
we didn't have to be in it.
I think that the only other side to that is it's a two-way street in terms of you need player to want to sign, you need club to want to sign player. Player doesn't want to sign yet because there might be a Championship move on the horizon, or they might just want to go on a free and get because when players go on a free, it's known that they get a bigger sign-on bonus. So because they don't pay transfer fee for them, so it's easy for them to sign, so they can give a little more money. So on a personal level, if a player does want to go, it's easier for them to move on a free. And it's more financially beneficial for them to do that personally. So I think that's the problem. What we've got at the minute is we probably do want to re-sign all these players, but there's the sort of amount of variables that within it of League One
basically the ball is in the players' court massively.
Because it's League One or Champ wage. Which one are you going for? Because there's going to be some difference between one of them.
Sign-on bonuses and everything.
Yeah, so I think the reason why the amount of players which are out of contract this season have not re-signed is because they don't know where we're going to be. It's sort of like when you look back at when we've had it in the past of when we cashed in on Winall, Hurrian, in that season. We got a little bit of money back for him and sort of threw our season away for sake of a couple of grand for just short of £1 million, I think it was in total. But you're not really going to win or lose because you need everyone on the same page.
It's just one win in 8 games. I mean, it's hard to comprehend why that's happened. I mean, I'm a logical man. I always think there's got to be a reason. So I do think about everything. And I mean, it's just nonsensical. How can your form just drop like that? Like a stone?
Worry for our football club, though, lads, is that we hadn't had a coach for over 2 seasons since, what were it now?
Simon Davey.
Simon Davey wanted 2000 and 6 to 9, or when he come in.
As much as I see that, though, it's not like we've been bad throughout that entirety of that time. Like, I get that obviously, like, change and everything's like no one likes change or no one wants change. But within that, we've had promotions, we've had relegations, we've had sort of rough which smooth. We had Wembley twice in one season.
Stendhal, Valerian, Ishmael.
Yeah, we had Stendhal taking us to second. We had Val taking us to champ playoffs. Like, as much as that's a thingy, because I understand sort of the club wants to put the infrastructure behind it then of it's like continuation succession, which when we had that run of Stendhal, Struber, Val, it worked perfectly because it was just a continuation of the same thing. And then
we had sacked all these managers. We've had most of them has been took off his hands. So you can't really put that down to the club. You know, Duff getting bought from us and Ecklebottom leaving because they bought him out of his contract. I don't think you can put that on the club.
Yeah, it's just one of them things of there's always a bigger fish. If we do well, someone's going to take them off. The same as what we do to a League Two club.
That's what I mean. Let's take David Challinor from Stockport. It's 145 games, 81 wins, 29 draws, and 35 losses. I'll take that.
If I were him, I'd be stopping at Stockport. They've come up and they're going to do well next season.
They've done really well.
Has he not seen his new bridge?
They might. No, Stockport's getting a new bridge. He's getting a brand new interchange. It's up and coming. Is Stockport at the minute. I
forgot you were over that way.
Yeah, it's my second club after Salford. Over here because Salford's literally 10 minutes away. So know a little bit about Stockport, but like you said, Andy, I don't see why he'd leave of having a promotion and then the chance to build on that again, because as you've seen from the teams that come up this season, Stevenage had a chance at playoffs. I think all barring Carlisle have had fairly decent seasons.
Richard Wellens is another shout though.
Leighton Orient. Yeah, a tricky one. Right, we will be back in the week to preview Northampton. And we'll probably
one last thing, Josh. Just so people know, you'll be doing a preview of Northampton on Wednesday evening,
or Thursday,
because I won't be here Wednesday evening because myself and my granddaughter Grace, we're going to watch Barnsley women at Oakwell playing the semi-final of the League Cup. I've been beating Bradford City 1-0 last week. We're playing Ossett United in the League Cup semi-final. 7:30 kick-off at Oakwell on Wednesday night. So
don't fancy playing on Saturday, though. We'll win more than we do.
Good luck to Jess and the girls.
Is that on 4G, Andy?
As far as I know, Al, it is. Yeah, as far as I know. And I'll tell you what, Al, round the back of the 4G, they do a nice bacon sandwich. I'll tell you that. If you go for nothing else, because it's free, go to watch and get a bacon sandwich from round back. It's a winner.
Good to see at least one of his sides is doing all right, I suppose. Semi-final. I like how quick that cup is as well. Quarterfinals 1 week, semi-finals next week. None of this dragging it out like FA Cup that starts way back in September. Get
still
it in.
Still possible to win the title as well. We beat Sunderland 2-0 away last Sunday, so there's a lot to play for.
The double is still on.
Some big games coming up against teams up at the top with us, but they're on a roll. Could happen.
It could very well.
Yes, and the Reds.
Come on.
Yes. So we'll be back on Wednesday or Thursday with our Northampton preview. Andy hasn't gotten away into plug yet because we are at home, which is nice.
Might have finished.
Yeah, potentially.
Might have.
Cobblers.
I might have. No, I might have hung up my microphone. If we drop out on Saturday, that's me done.
That's do you know what? That's the only silver lining. So if we do drop out,
also benefit.
We won't have you saying I've got a Wayne coming up. Watch it.
I can still talk about. Don't worry about that, Josh. I can still talk about the online shop. I'll still talk about merch. Don't worry about it, Josh.
Not all avenues have been cut off just yet.
No.
We'll see. We'll see about that when I close it down.
Got plenty to go, Craig.
What are you doing with them We Love Collins t-shirts?
Oh. I flogged them to you for 40 quid each, Al.
So we're back in the week with our Northampton preview and maybe some more discussion around the managerial merry-go-round that we're now part of again. Yeah, we'll see you then. You Reds.